This is sample 4, the length alteration assignment. To complete this assignment, you would need to get the pattern pieces out of the back of your syllabus. There's a shirt front, there's a shirt back, there's a skirt front, and there is a pants back. All of them are found in the very back of the syllabus. As you look at it, there's a skirt front that we start with, then to lengthen the skirt front. Number 2 is to lengthen the pants back and shorten the crotch. And number 3 is to lengthen the shirt front and shorten the shirt back. The first one we'll do, because it's the easiest, is the skirt front. The first thing that you would need to do is cut, number 1, trim the pattern, leaving a 1/2 inch margin around the cutting line, which I already did to save a little time. Now, when you go to the store and you buy something off the rack, we live with it if it doesn't fit us. If it's too short in the arms or too long in the legs, we live with it. When we make our own clothing, we don't live with it. We alter it before we ever cut it out so it does fit us. So you would measure the skirt from the waist to where you want it and see if it fits. There is a lengthen or shorten line. You measure that pattern, and if that pattern looks like it will fit you, voila, you don't have to change anything. But how often is that? If you do need to change, you cut right between those 2 lines. That's number 2. Cut along the shorten or lengthen line. At that point, you would tape it to some filler paper. And there it is. Now the pattern tells us to lengthen this particular assignment. We are going to lengthen it right here. Let's see. Oh good, I hope I can find it. Trim the pattern. Lengthen 1 inch. You might want. There we have it. Okay, so we're coming down from the pattern 1 inch. There I am on 1. Always use a pencil. In case you make any type of mistake, you want a pencil that you can erase. So here we are for 1 inch. Draw a line across after you have put it on the filler paper. There it is. And then we go ahead and line it up as closely as you can to here and to here. Sometimes you always will line up center front, always. And we will adjust the sides. But center front for any pattern piece or center back is what you would line up. All right, did we line it up? Can we do this? We can. There we have it. And then here's our fold line. There it is. Now, this is 1 inch. We lengthened 1 inch. And over here, it doesn't quite make it. It doesn't line up. Use a vary form. Maybe take a bit from there and a bit from here. There's our solid line. Mark that one out because we don't use that anymore. Mark this one out. We do not use that. There's our line. And this one looks like it's marking a little bit closer and a little bit easier. Maybe move it around. The vary form is on an angle, so it's easier to give you some curves. And women, we know that. We have curves. There it is, our dotted line. Mark that one out. We do not use it. Mark this one out. We do not use it. Make certain that you put your name on the sheet and trim the side before you turn it into the TA. From the side. Now there is number 1 of this sample. We're able to cut the paper off and continue to use it. To give you an idea how to shorten one, here is our skirt. And we lengthen, but we also need to know how to shorten. So there it is, number 1, the number 1 part. Number 2, lengthen the leg on the pants back pattern. So here's our back. The first thing again that we would need to do is cut around the pattern. The patterns look like this. They need to be cut out. Leave yourself a 1/2 inch around. Now we are so good at lengthening because we just did one. We're going to do the same thing again. The first thing we do, cut around. The second thing we do is cut in between the lengthen or shorten line. On the pants pattern, lengthen the leg 3/4 of an inch. So we need the filler paper again. And we put it and we tape it on. 3/4 of an inch. We will measure it. Make certain to cross where we will need to do it several times to have a good line. Okay. And then we line it up several times. Aren't we glad? Because look, that one wasn't right where it should be, but the other 3 pulled it into sync. There we have it. And that 3/4 is now where we line this as close as we can. Now we don't have any center front or center back to line up, so what we line up with is this grain line. The grain line is what it would be important to line. And we've got it right there. There's our 3/4 of an inch. Does it match up? It does. It matches up and it's nice. Does this match up? It does. This is our stitching line, would be redrawn. We don't have to X anything out because it looks good. It looks strong. It lines up. There we are. There we are. Now, lengthen 3/4 of an inch. Always write what you did so the TA can see it. Go ahead and trim up the paper so it looks nice. Always have your name. In addition, you would need to always use a pencil in case you make a mistake. Now I'm reiterating that because sometimes we do forget. Okay, there is another part to this second number 2. This is the number 2 assignment on the lengthen or shorten. Number 2. In addition, after we have lengthened the leg of the pant, we are going to shorten the crotch 1/2 inch. Ladies, have you ever had a pair of pants that were too long? That you needed them higher, that they drooped, or they were too tight? So we also can lengthen or shorten the crotch line. Make it more comfortable. Make those pants exactly to fit you. Cutting across the line. Now, do we need filler paper? If we're going to shorten something, absolutely not. We do not. We don't need the filler paper. We're going to move it 1/2 inch. You can move it up or you can move it down. However, if it's going to interfere with a dart, let's move it down. Watch where your darts are. Don't ever move it which way it might. Okay, I've got several lines, 1/2 inch. I'm drawing my line to make certain that I move it straight. Good, there we are. We take this and move it down. Again, no center front, no center back. I will line up my grain line. Isn't that slick? There it is. And that's shorter. Now, let's check our sewing and seam lines. This side looks pretty good, doesn't it? Lined up pretty nicely. I have shortened 1/2 inch. over here, not so nicely. Grab that very form again, and let's do what we can to line it up, to make it fit. It's not working. It's not working so well, is it? Then we'll eyeball it a bit. So, there's our good cutting line. And we must X that out. We're not using that. This, and we will X that out. We are not using that. Now, does this look to be the same? Fourth, fourth, fourth. Okay, with that gone, this is the same distance. And this is number 2 of this assignment. Number 3 is to lengthen the skirt front and shorten the shirt front and shorten the shirt back. And you already know how to do that because you just did that same sort of an alteration on number 2. Good luck and have fun.